Yo, this is the second video that the Phoenix, the Dark King, promised. Yes, I'm still the assassin, the best at what I do. And I can say here's why, but enough of all that, You see the title. I have said this on many comments. I've said this in many comment sections. Asspulls don't exist. Asspulls. First of all, you know that a term is fan-made when it has no definitive explanation. All right? Similar to plot armor. At least plot armor we can have a legitimate discussion about, even though I blasted it in the previous video. Still, we can at least have an educated, rational discussion, no matter how stupid the concept was. There's a lot of concepts and ideologies, a lot of philosophies which have clear flaws and are stupid from a metaphysical, ontological, epistemological standpoint, depending on the situation. For those of you who are not well versed in philosophy, it's all good. This one does not fall under any of that. As stupid as plot armor can be in the terminology, this is beyond the realm of asinine. This is beyond the realm of pure stupidity. This is beyond the realm of idiocy. This falls into not insanity, not beyond insanity. This falls into completely illogical or rational thought. Asspull. Listen to the term, ladies and gentlemen. You already sometimes know something is dumb as hell. When you see a term, you're just looking like, what the fuck? Who invented this? Who came up with this and thought it was a good idea? And why is it continually being perpetrated, being perpetually utilized? It is completely out of bounds in terms of any logical, rational criticism, any logical, rational contemplation. I can't even define a definition because it's just that far gone into the realm of you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh, it's just an Asspulls. And again, people I respect, reviewers I respect, big timers that I respect, small timers that I respect. Doesn't matter, everybody in the middle. I can respect you and I can respectfully disagree with some of the bullshit that's being said. I heard the straight BS. Alright? I don't usually cuss too much, but this one deserves it. This whole thing is some of the most uncreative, ignoramus, ignorant, naive, lack of skill that I've ever seen spoken out of people's mouths. It's some of the laziest critiques, and that's clear quotations, critiques, that you can come across. Really think about this. You're saying, because, and this is what it mainly translates. Now, some people use it. I'm like, all right. Once again, you can have bad writing, poor execution, and other factors we can get into and speak literarily. But for most people, this is very simple. I didn't get what I wanted. I don't understand it. I refuse to spend the time to think about and understand the logic of the series. Every single story, world, and universe has its own sets of logic. I hate the term, and that's a whole nother thing about real world logic. I hate that term, but you know, it is what it is. You refuse to understand the logic of the story. It's pure and simple. And if it's a poorly executed thing, just call it what it is. It's just piss poor execution. That's it. It's terrible writing. All right. Even if it's not. And because some of y'all don't know, just say what good writing is if it hits you in the back of the head, man. And you can say, well, you're just acting arrogant. You don't know what you're talking about. Really? Yeah. Then we can have a literary discussion if I don't really know what I'm talking about. If I haven't read and watched as much fiction as I have. Okay. That's fine. If I haven't studied literature, that's fine. That's fine. You know. Here's the thing. As I said with plot armor, most people who utilize this term do not write. They don't write. And they know if they write, they understand how difficult it is at times to tell a coherent story when you're dealing into completely fantastical, mystical at times, outrageous powers. If you're starting, think about it like this. It's easy to write a story if you're grounded in, let's say, slice of life. If you're grounded Even in pure martial arts, it gets troublesome at times. But if you're grounded, yeah, pounded, grounded and ground pound. If you're grounded and founded in very tactile, very physical, very empirically based data in your story, that's light work. When you're starting to do, let's say, something like utilizing chakra in Naruto, utilizing Nin in Hunter x Hunter, utilizing Ki in Dragon Ball, utilizing, let's say, the Infinity Gauntlet in the Marvel Universe, sorcery like Dr. Fate uses, like at times Captain Marvel, of course Dr. Stephen Strange, and utilizing hockey in One Piece. You can go down the list, right? When you start utilizing these aspects, when you're starting to we're casually destroying planets, potentially of galaxies, universes, multiverses, the whole omniverse of existence, you start dealing with that, bruh. These are levels that are not simply understood by most people. And so what they do is, certain people are established at certain levels, then for whatever reason, people can't come up. They can't challenge these gods or these higher echelon of beings. Well, here, no one seems to want to ask the questions, well, why are these beings so powerful? In a lot of cases, just fall in line and accept the established order. Now, that goes into a whole other thing about government and authoritarian figures, totalitarian regimes, and what more. You can say, how does that tie? It's mindset and the mentality that people have. But with Asspulls, people say, what, this power, how did they come up with this? There's nothing called training. No. There's nothing called unlocking potential. There's nothing called, unlocking special techniques. There's nothing called story progression, actual story progression, actual development of skill, of power levels. No, you can't come up. But then, when other characters who are later introduced, they become picking and choosing, like with Dragon Ball Super. You have Hit and Jiren the Great, right? Massively powerful. But then you introduce Khalifa and KO, who are way weaker than them. But you have a problem with Khalifa and KO. Oh, they're coming up too fast. Really? You didn't have a problem with Hit and Jiren, though. Okay. That's fine. It's because they're saying, come on now, fam. Don't do this. When Khalifa and KO clearly can't defeat Son Goku. The balance of power is still intact. You're fine with Gohan. You have issues with Goten and Trunks, even though they never really came up. It's just fusion. Fusion is powerful, and I'll deal with fusion in another case. All I'm saying is, y'all have got to stop with this foolishness, man. Stop with these foolish terms. Stop with terms you can't purely define, you can't establish as credible. I'm not going to take it seriously, bro. Come to me with legitimate stuff and we can have a discussion. Don't come to me with fan-made stuff because you don't like something and you refuse to understand something. If it's badly written, showcased by the logic of the series. If you don't agree with certain decisions of the author, of the creator, of the writer, that's fine. That's totally fine. But it doesn't make it an ass pull. It means that you disagree. Pure and simple. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace. And Happy New Year to all. And let's hope 2018 goes admirably, phenomenally well.